I'm going to give our wheels a little bit of cold bluing just to protect them. We're not trying to win any beauty contests, but just want to, avoid having them rust. So this is the one I like, is the Brownell's Oxbow Brew, Oxbow Blue. The cream formula I tend to prefer, but this is good stuff. Hope I got enough left in here. I just ordered another bottle, and holy smokes, this stuff has gone up like 300% in price since the last time I bought any. All right, so here we go. So I've washed these with soap and water twice, hit them with brake clean, blew them off with air. Getting them super clean is the key. The other thing is the bluing will not cover any imperfections. So whatever you see is what you're going to get. It's just because it's a transparent finish. So I just gloves and just use my fingers to put it on. And I did pre-warm these in the oven about maybe 150 degrees. It seems to work better when it's warm. And you just rub it in, work it in. And the more time you spend, the darker it'll get. Yeah, I think the cream version you can work it in better, especially if your surface is not completely clean. You can kind of rub through any oil or contaminants that may be on there. Where the liquid version, my experience anyways, it doesn't let you rub through any issues. All right, she's getting there. The other thing is you shouldn't be working out of the bottle. I mean, there's not much left in here, so I'm not worried that I contaminate what's in there. You should transfer to another container, a little cup or something, so that you don't, in case you got oils or whatever on your piece, then you don't contaminate what's in the bottle. All right, I'm gonna let these just soak for a few minutes, and then I'm gonna wipe them off and maybe give them another coat, and I'll bring you guys back. All right, I think my bottle of bluing was getting a little long in the tooth, plus it's probably contaminated. I think that bottle's at least 10 years old. So it didn't get as dark as I would have liked, and it's a little blotchy, but for what it is, it's going to be fine. I put 2 coats on, and of course I'm out of steel wool. Always check to see if you have your materials before you start the project. Oh well. Ended up using an old piece of Scotch-Brite and just very lightly burnished with that, and then gave it a little oil rub down. I can always add more bluing later on. So anyways, we're going to call that good, and we're going to move on to the next step. Here's our early morning update the next day. So we did a test fit here with our stanchions. Looks good. The only thing I really don't like is we have a little bit of slop. Let's see if I can get you guys. There we go. So we have a little bit of slop here. And I'm going to try it like this first. But I think what I'll probably end up doing is putting some bushings in. Maybe oil light. I don't know yet. But I want to test it first before doing extra work. On our layout, I didn't mention, this top face and these cutouts, that was all done just with a bandsaw, so they're not real true. The important thing is the axles are true to our stretchers and true to the feet, so everything should sit on the same plane. Okay. All right, so our next task is to make our spacers. we've got to bore these out to fit the axle bolts. And we left a little hub on these guys on one side, and my thinking on that, and hopefully it's good, is that it will create a gap between the wheels so they don't rub together. So when we do our layout, and I messed this up the first time, you know, just doing the math and the layout. So I went and got more coffee, thought about it for a few minutes, and did it the right way. So what I was doing wrong, I wasn't working from center line. So we measured the distance with our calipers, you know, between the our tubing here, and it was pretty consistent. And that number ended up being, let me flip this over here, right here, 1.275. So we took that, divided by 2, established our center line. We made our little sketch here just for sanity check. And then we just worked backwards from center line. So we ended up with, we need a spacer on this side, 0.3625. Our bearing is 0.275. And then we subtracted what was left. Actually, we didn't have to because it's just center line, because we want the 2 inside faces of our bearings to be right on center line. Okay, so that's the plan, at least for now. Plan A. So, all right, let's head over to the lathe and work on these spacers. Okay, so we're set up in the lathe with our 5C collet. The first thing we're going to have to do is face off the ends. These are just saw cut. Speed up a bit here. Go. Okay, that drill bit drilled right on size. Let me see what I got for reamers. All right, we switched to a letter O drill bit. I don't want to have to ream 8 of these things, so let's give that a try. Okay, that's a nice fit. We're just going to go with that. Okay, now we got to figure out how we're going to do the other side. This is where I don't have a 5C stop, adjustable stop. I'm putting one on order. This would be a perfect time if I had one of those. Alright, so let me figure out how we're going to do these. Okay guys, so here's the plan. So if you can see that scribe mark, that's our length. And since I don't have a way of setting up a stop block, plus your 5C collets don't always pull in the same amount, I'm going to, I got my, you can't see, but I got my Mr. Pete Optivisors on. So I'm just going to chuck this up, and we've got our parting blade in there. I'm just going to eyeball it to the scribe line and try one, measure it, and see how close we can get. I think this will work. And I'm going to do it off camera because I need to be in here close. All right, so I've lined up to our mark. I've got the carriage locked. We're going to try parting this one off and see what happens. Hopefully you guys can see okay. I don't have a good good spot to set the camera up here. Yeah, hit that with the file. You guys are right in the way. Not much to grab onto. There we go. Okay, moment of truth. We missed it by half a thousandth. There's a little burr on there. Okay, we're happy. Actually, that's dead on right there. All right, that's how we're gonna do it. We've got 3 more of those to make.
You don't have to pee. You don't have to pee. You don't have to pee. Hello, Smith. My name is Quinn, and this is Blind Hacks. Let's say you've just built a model boiler, or you're refurbishing an old one, or maybe you've got an old air compressor, and you want to know if the pressure vessel is safe. How do we do that without, putting ourselves at risk of going boom? Well,
Okay, guys, here's the final product. Sorry, I was in get her done mode, so I didn't get a chance to film the assembly process. But let's take a close look at what we have here. So we got our wheels mounted, spacers installed. Let's give her a spin here. So what I've found with the bearings, so you can see I popped one of the shields off so I could clean them out. I had to clean the grease out of the bearings, flush them out really good, and then I just put a light oil in there because you want minimal rolling resistance. And the other thing I had to do is I had to hand select the bearings. I went through several bearings looking for the ones that had the most clearance. Easiest, freest rolling, if you will. I may still go back and swap a couple of these. No, this is what you want right here. This one here is beautiful. It just turns for a long time. But the other ones are definitely stiffer. Yeah, so I may order some more bearings, and I don't know if I can find them with a higher clearance rating. Typical is like a C3, which is like electric motor bearing. So I don't know if I could get C4 if they even make that. But there again, I might just order a handful and then just try to pick out the best ones for this application. So anyways, here's a piece of cold roll, and we got a little weight on there. So I have a feeling that on small diameter stuff, unless it's really out of whack, you're not going to be able to see the difference. That's quite a bit there. That's a 3/8 washer with a magnet holding it. But overall, pretty happy the way it turned out. Here's our stretcher guide pins at the bottom. I think they'll be fine. I was worried that they might be a little sloppy, but you know, we're not doing any high RPM or anything like that. So yeah, I think it'll be okay. So anyways, this was a project inside a project, so now I can get back to the project that created this one, which is finishing our cleanup and refreshing of this bow door grinder. So I got to pull these bearings off. We're going to change the bearings, and we will be checking this rotor with our new static balancing stand. All right, thanks everybody for stopping by, and if you like this, please hit that subscribe button and the like button, and we will see you on the next video.